What kind of advice would you give that roofing company from a financial standpoint?
Ooh, do not take out loans.
What's the number one first thing that you fix when you come into a company?
Typically, the reason people call us is because of cash flow, but that's not where we start. The first thing we do is we help people collect. We have to do some legal things to get things rolling. We have to fix our billing, make sure that we're doing it fast and we're getting efficient. We do it industry standard. So like we do make sure we get a 50% deposit before we start, before we schedule, before we order anything. Then we look at estimating. We build from the ground up because of the operations background. We can do that. So we just make sure we're accounting for everything.
Are there good rules of thumb when it comes to job costing and estimating?
What we want to do is try to job cost as much as we possibly can.
So are there any industry trends that you're seeing, as you work with roofing companies in 2026 beyond?
Just because we've historically had a receptionist, a sales guy, this project manager, they can handle this many projects. You need to almost augment it with some form of AI. Everybody wants to jump on the Alex Hormozy train of like, burn the bridges, go all in. That's awesome. And if you burn the boats, you have to take out a loan to do it because you have no other support.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for joining us here on Roofer Growth Hacks. It's very exciting to have you come on here and share your knowledge with the industry. Why don't we kick this off a little bit here and just tell us a little bit about yourself, tell us about your entrepreneurial journey, why you started, what you're doing now, and how you're helping people out.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris. Ultimately our background is just how how subcontractors, construction subcontractors struggle to just make cash flow happen. They worry about, am I going to be able to pay these people? Who do I pay? How much can I pay? What's left over? All of those kind of things. We just try to take all of that pain out of running a construction company. We like to focus on trades, the people actually doing work, including roofers, instead of like general contractors where you just kind of contract things out. But with that, like the background is, I was in project management for a better part of a decade on massive projects, $300 million Google projects, and I kind of got burned out by all the day-to-day things. I enjoy making a difference and doing the high intense valuable things, not driving around buckets. So got into doing my own business with a partner, and that's where we found that the part that we're really good at is the math, doing the thing that people hate. They just want to run their business, so we do that part for you. And it's been enjoyable for us because we're nerdy. We like math, I guess.
So when I went to A&M, right, my worst class ever, okay, I had to take a couple of times. The initial round was accounting, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like that was a whole different, like I was a marketing major and accounting was this whole other thing, and first round was not good. That was the first time I had ever failed anything in my entire life. And I was like, oh man, I got to take that one again. So,
funny.
So why don't you tell us your background then on that? I mean, are you an accountant? Are you like, sounds like, what exactly do you do?
Yeah. I didn't actually come from accounting. I don't have a CPA background. I don't have the controller bookkeeping background. I like to think of that as like the organization, or like for the controller, it's accuracy. And for the CPA, it's telling the government. But what I like to do, being the project manager of all these massive projects, is I like to plan. I like to make everything in a sandbox and then watch it come to actualization. And what I found, because I had to get so in the weeds of job costing and making the thing happen within the estimate, my estimate was my sandbox, and my plan was the reality that would come to fruition. It was like my favorite part to get to those really intense moments where you're hauling a huge manhole across a busy ER parking lot of a hospital to do something like that, and all of the planning that goes into it, it just happened flawlessly, and nobody calls you all day. Those are like the moments that I enjoyed. and I figured out that like the planning part along with the math part, combine those two, it's a very unique skill set.
Hmm.
So having the background in construction, it's kind of the glue that makes my team unique. Is we focus more on we're good at math, but it's the actual what happens in the field, not the accounting side, not the reporting side. I feel like that's a little easier. There's rules for that, but when you're doing construction, there's no rules for payment terms. You know, you can tell them
Yeah.
5 days, you can tell them before you start, you can tell them net 30, but eh, it's not like the
Yeah.
government where they're like, no, you have to pay today or you have another interest rate. So we try to strategize around all the nuances.
Awesome. Awesome. So big picture here, then you come in and you really, and I know your CFO, right, is chief financial officer. It's more
Yes.
big picture, like, hey, you need to have this over here and this over here and make sure that those two things match, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
What's what's the biggest thing that y'all fix with companies as you like the number one first thing that you fix when you come into a company?
Yeah. Yeah. It's typically the reason people call us is because of cash flow.
Cash
They
flow.
are struggling, like it's the timing. It's I was
Yeah.
supposed to get paid by this guy 3 weeks ago and I didn't, and now it's causing me problems today to pay my crew to do the next one. um, Anybody who's been in the industry more than 5 minutes understands that construction is very volatile, whether it's payments, whether it's the field, anything. um, so that's where people come, but that's not where we start. um, Let me take that back. I do start there.
Yeah.
The first thing we do is we help people collect. You know,
Okay.
we have to
Hmm.
break down doors, do some lien notices. We have to do some legal things to get things
Hmm.
rolling. We have to fix our billing, make sure that we're doing it fast and we're getting efficient. We do it industry standard. So, like, we do make sure we get a 50% deposit before we
Okay.
start, before we schedule, before we order anything.
Hmm.
Then we look at estimating. We build from the ground up because of the operations background. We can do that. Um, so we just make sure we're accounting for everything, just because it's we're not just going to tell you, hey, increase your price by 10% because you can and you need to and you need to make more money. It's more like, why do we need to? Where are we losing money? And let's make sure we put it there, and then we can drop our profit if we have to win jobs. But we want to make sure that we're actually getting profit, not, well, I should be making 50%, but I'm really making five and I have no idea why. It's because you're not job costing, you're not doing it the right way. So, so we build that, and then we just run the monthly meetings. So instead of
Hmm.
us assuming um, responsibility of the finances that everybody else put together and grew with over 5, 10, 15 years, we
Hmm.
just rebuild it from the ground up as if you're brand new. Run it for you, teach you how to do it, and people often outgrow us, and that's kind of the purpose. Is we just build a quality business, help you do what you want to do, and move on to the next stage. If you want to stay with us, that's cool. If you but we're not going to grow that big, right?
Yeah.
You hit that 20
Yeah.
million mark and we're like, you might want somebody full time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
100%.
that's kind of a little bit of the process.
So, what's your thoughts on the profit first system? Do you actually talk to clients about that at all, or
Yeah.
do you have your own system?
Yeah. So profit first is very similar to like Dave Ramsey for business,
Hmm.
right? We have buckets.
Hmm.
The first thing that comes in, we're gonna put 10% over here, 10% over there, 5% here. This gets paid out. I like that model. I'm happy to use it. It's a little cumbersome because being a fractional CFO, we don't actually get, I don't have full bank access to somebody's
Uh,
stuff. It's not like I
right.
want to come in and say, hey, tell me this. I'm going to pay your bills for you. Like,
Yeah.
that's what your bookkeeping team does is we push
Right.
money around. We can do some of that, but I'm not going to push money from account to account to make that happen for you. I'm just going to help you see it in front of you so you can actually visualize it. But we do that concept of, let's figure out what your overhead is. Hey, you're only charging 10%. Really? It's at 15 and a half. Did you know that? Oh, you didn't know it was that much. Well, there's two ways we can reduce it. We can either cut costs or we can do more work with the same amount of stuff. Um,
Right.
just I'm basically it's like, hey, here's the levers that actually make a difference for you. Which one do you want to
Yeah.
pull? And I'll help you do it. I don't really care which one. It's not my business. If you want to make $5 million a year off of a $10 million company, cool. If you want to grow to $100 million a year, cool. I'll help you do either. I don't care.
Yeah.
Is that good? Good.
Yeah,
Good
no, no,
flow
no, no.
there.
That's great. I'm a huge fan of profit first,
Mhm.
and love just the buckets, right? Love the and I see also with my own businesses is that yeah, I need a contractor's bucket, or a vendor's bucket, so that I can pay those people first, right? I don't want to be
Yes.
stealing from them, so I've got to have that bucket, in my bank account.
Yeah.
So we talked real briefly about job costing and estimating and those types of things. What's a good rule of thumb when it comes to that? Like, are there good rules of thumb when it comes to job costing and estimating?
Yeah. The way that I come from the commercial world, so it's a little different than resi. Um,
Mhm.
but also, I know a lot of people that are in resi that function the same way. But what we want to do is try to job cost as much as we possibly can. We want to make sure that all of our like superintendent, maybe you have one that goes to all these different job sites. Well, we don't want to call that overhead. We want to put it on a job because it helps you know what did that
Mhm.
job actually
Mhm.
take. If that superintendent left, you don't know what they actually were doing, how many hours, how many jobs they touched. You think you know, but you don't have their hours to prove it. And if you go to sell your company eventually and you're trying to prove this to somebody taking over, they're going to say, "Why do you have the superintendent? They don't do any jobs. They don't do anything. Like
Yeah.
we don't know what they do."
Right.
You can prove who on paper to people that are number people that are probably going to buy your business, not just some random guy at the street that knows nothing, takes your
Right.
word for it. We can prove all of that. That's kind of the point of all of it is to get a line of credit, increase that, keep everybody happy, and be profitable. Show the government that you know what you're doing too. You don't want to overpay
Hundred
just
percent.
because you don't show them.
Yeah. 100%. Now, and maybe I missed this earlier, but what's the range of companies that you guys work with, like as far as annual revenue goes?
Yeah, we have one as small as 300,000. We have some as big as 25 million, but
Okay.
the sweet spot is like a 1 to 10 because
Yeah.
if there's a bureaucracy put in place, it's hard to get everybody on board. Happy to do
Yeah.
it, but it just takes longer, and I don't want to oversell that to people. It does take time when you have to convince people to do something they're not used to.
Yeah. 100%. Are there specific tools that you guys have created or that you use with every single client, kind of a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a software geek, so I think of, like what kind of tools are you guys using to help you with all of this?
Yeah. So I personally use Control Core, which is the accounting software. The
Okay.
reason I prefer that over like QuickBooks is it has job costing built into it. It's $100 per $1 million of revenue, so it's affordable. You know, QuickBooks is
Yeah.
$300 to $600 if you're under a million. Like that doesn't even make
Yeah.
sense. Um,
Yeah.
but then as far as processes, I've built spreadsheets and I have them available on our website at constructioncfo.net. You're welcome to
Okay.
download them, but they're free. A lot
Yeah.
of them, some of them are paid, but it's just helpful tools to help you build the business and get to a certain point. So the process that we do though is week one is month end close. We make sure all the data from the previous month was right. Second
Uh,
week, we look at all the projects to see that we're making money on all of them. There's no red flags we need to go fix for the next couple projects. Maybe we hired somebody new, they're not making money. We don't know. Um, month or week three, we look at the business. Just because you have profitable projects doesn't mean you're not overspending on overhead or you have that lingering Amazon Prime subscription for 10 employees. Um, and we do the WIP reporting for the banks and the lenders. And then the last week, we always do cash flow forecasting because we want to know what's our game plan for the next 13 weeks and then 24 months if we can plan out that far. I know it's hard for Resi, but we just average it out. What's it going to look like? What should it look like? It's like the weather. The further out we
mhm.
get, the less. accurate it is, but it gives you peace of mind to be able to sleep at night, not being like, who am I going to pay tomorrow? Can I afford to pay these guys? They're going to never work for me again if I don't. That's what I hear every week.
Yes. Yeah. I hear it too. I hear it all the time as well
Yeah.
with clients. Yeah. And I've had some that got themselves into trouble because they went out and bought a truck with their marketing money,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or just went out and bought a huge truck that they really didn't need. And now they have $1,000 a month payment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, so with that being said, all right, switching gears a little bit here, and it's just me as the marketer asking, do you give as a fractional CFO, right? Coming into roofing companies, do you give them like, okay, I need you to spend X amount of money on your marketing, or is that already kind of determined by their leadership before they even get to you?
That's a good question. It depends on the company size, and it depends on their sophistication and their background. Some people, surprisingly, I have one client that was a marketer, and they're like, I want
Hmm.
to start a construction business. They
Yeah.
know nothing about finance, so they hire somebody else to do that.
Right.
And then they have the team that they bought. Um, but some of them come in and they know nothing about it. So
Hmm.
you have to tell them or teach them, like, hey, 10% of your annual revenue, you want to consider your first couple of years really ramping up your marketing so that way it's cheaper in the long run. But
Yeah.
then, you want to maybe pare it down to, say, 3 to 4% of your annual revenue. Really helps
Yeah.
you just have a good, strong presence. We don't want to
Yeah.
overspend by any means. So, um, I don't specifically go out and target those things, but I do some benchmark tests and look at like where are they at with how much is estimating overhead, marketing, sales, software, all of those things, just to see where they stack up.
Yeah.
Um, not necessarily,
Interesting.
it's a double edged sword. Sometimes you're like, hey, you're
Sure.
spending a lot on marketing.
Right.
Like maybe you don't need to do the Facebook ads.
Right. Have you
um,
seen that? Have you seen like people are spending way too much on advertising?
Proportionately, yes. It's like
Yeah.
I get that you are going to, as a residential roofer, for example, you need to be in there because that's where your ideal client is.
Uh-huh.
But it's not that you are overspending on it. You're overspending on it compared to how much you're winning out of it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So keep your budget the same. That's fine. But like, let's
Mhm.
change your messaging. And
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. I don't. That's what
Right.
you're for, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the marketer. I'm the numbers guy, but I can show you the numbers are saying that you need a different message
100%.
or a different
And
location.
what we typically see on not just Facebook ads, but any kind of advertising is that the very first thing that is um that breaks when people work with us is their sales, right? Because their sales
Mhm.
was not set up for inbound,
Mm, yeah, conversion
cold leads
or
coming in. Yeah. It's set up for referrals, right? Or
mm,
door knocking or right. And those don't all match up at all whatsoever. So,
no.
having that kind of that's been our focus honestly the past couple of years is really how do we help our clients fix that? Because
Mhm.
if we can help with that, then it helps with all the other things. The marketing actually works. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, it really depends on the type of business. Like the door to
mhm,
door marketing is really effective,
yeah,
especially after a storm because you're going after
mhm,
people that need it. But
right,
if that's your business model, maybe online marketing isn't your thing. But if you want to get
yeah,
into like consistent work and not chasing it,
right,
marketing should be your thing.
yeah, 100%. Yep, got to be the best known in your area for sure.
Yeah.
So, are there any industry trends that you're seeing, as you work with roofing companies in 2026 beyond here? Any industry trends that we should all be paying attention to?
I think it's really important to just benchmark your overhead first off because with AI,
Mhm,
it's being augmented. So just because we've historically had a receptionist, a sales guy,
mhm,
this project manager, they can handle this many projects. You need to almost augment it with some form of AI, whether it's for the inbound stuff and like a CRM that does part of that for you. I'm sure
mhm,
you do a lot of AI for marketing where it helps
mhm.
um, mass produce it and faster. We
Yeah.
use it in accounting. It's like, you can do more work with less overhead now.
Mhm.
And if you
Yeah.
don't get on that trend today, just because the industry standard has been, 10 to 20% overhead, it's probably going to go in half over time just because people are augmenting with tools. And if you don't cut yours in half, but everybody else does, you're going to
Mhm.
get, obviously, there's going to be problems financially, or you're not going to win
Yeah.
projects. You can't
Right.
consistently be 20% higher than everybody else and make money or win
Right.
projects.
Right. Not unless you're the best known in the area and
That's
everyone
true.
trusts you, right?
That's true. You can charge whatever you want. If you're like, no, I only do Blake Shelton houses.
Mhm.
So
Right.
if you're Carrie Underwood, call me. you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. But if you're just Joe Schmo, right?
Yeah.
Joe's Roofing, you're gonna have a hard time, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tri-state roofers,
Mhm. Mhm.
AAA roofing. Yep. Any of that. It's hard.
Yep.
You have to be distinguished.
Yeah. 100%. Okay. So what about like if I'm a new roofing company, right? And I'm
Mhm.
kind of starting in getting into the game, what kind of advice would you give that roofing company from a financial standpoint?
Ooh, good question. Do not take out loans. I know that's the first thing everybody's like, well, I'll just go get a small business loan because the government will help me start it. And like, that's how everybody else does it. But a loan, it doesn't matter where it comes from, you still have to pay it back. And you have to know how you're going to pay it back. What I see a
Yeah.
lot of people do is they take out $600,000. They go start this. I want to say excavation because it's like the newest trend of I'm going to go buy a mini X. But say you buy a roofing or you start a roofing company, you have to go buy scaffolding. You have to get all of your safety harnesses, all of that kind of stuff. Trucks. I want to get a brand new truck because I want to look like I
Yeah.
know what I'm doing. I don't want to be
Mhm.
John in this beat up 1997 Ford F-150.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, like I started scrappy. When I say scrappy, I mean I got a free computer from an old
Uh-huh.
company. I put in the $100 OS myself and I built this from like 800 bucks. It was like a hobby almost when I started.
Yeah.
And now I have it's not like I have the pressure of I have to pay this off before
Mhm.
like I can even make enough money to support myself. And I feel like if you just take what you have available to you, whether that's a $1,200 trailer and it's beat
Mhm.
up, and you have your 1997 F-150, like that's just kind of the way things are.
Yeah.
Just do it. They're not going to judge you and not give you work. You have to kind of build your reputation. You don't start off with elite
Right.
status with
Right.
a 2027 Denali.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Not if you want to be successful anyway. Not in my opinion.
No. No, I 100% agree with that. So let me piggyback on that, right? Talking about trucks, um, lease versus buying. What do you think
Uh,
on that one?
That's a good question. It depends on your business model. It depends what you want. Um, I know this isn't roofing, but just an example. We have two clients that do civil work. One buys a brand new 3500 every 10 years. He
Mhm.
puts probably 500,000 miles on this thing every
Yeah.
10 years because he replaces the transmission twice and he replaces the engine twice. He knows that he's going to do that when he buys it. You have the other team that they lease it and it's just maintenance included, it's less risk, all of
Mhm.
that kind of thing. Which one's right, which one's wrong? It doesn't necessarily matter. It depends on how you estimate it. But whatever
Yeah.
you do, it's going to change the cost of how you do business. So just
Yeah.
you have to understand and do the math. Which one makes sense for what I'm doing right now?
So
And
let's
what do
put
I
that
want
in the
long term?
lens real
Mm-hmm.
quick. Let's put that in the lens of the brand new company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lease versus going out and buying that 2026 Denali.
Mm-hmm. Whew. Where would I be if I was going to start a company? What would I do
Mhm.
personally? That's easier because, like, I'll give people my opinion, but normally I try to stay unopinionated and let them make
Uh-huh.
their own decision.
Yeah.
I would go get like a 5 to 10 year old truck,
Mhm.
one that looks newer, looks nicer, maybe like last year's something. I prefer Ram because they are cheaper
Yeah.
but they are very also like they have some quality in them when it comes to like built. Um, they look nice also, but they're, like a brand new F-150 compared to a 1500 is like it's like 35
Huge
grand
difference.
compared
Yeah.
to 78 grand.
Right.
Um, just because you like it, like work your way up to it. Just get something else,
Yeah.
or get a $20,000 RAM, because a twenty thousand
Right.
dollar RAM has about 100,000 miles instead of 300,000 miles of a Ford.
Right.
That's my
100%.
opinion. And then just go on marketplace and buy yourself a trailer. I mean, 1,200 to 5 grand is going to get you everything you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
100%.
yeah, but I would also say if you're starting out, don't. Everybody wants to jump on the Alex Hermosi train of like burn the bridges, go all in. That's awesome. But at some point, you do that. At first, you're like, hey, on the weekends, I'm going to do my own Saturday projects. I'm going to
Yeah.
do the neighbor's house. I'm going to buy
Right.
this trailer to do it, and it's going to pay for it. The
Yeah.
next weekend, I'm going to get these ladders and this nail gun and all of that stuff. You have to build yourself up. And
Mhm.
if you burn the boats, you have to take out a loan to do it because you have no other support.
100%. Yeah.
Um, just my opinion.
Well, and I 100% agree with you because I mean, I've bootstrapped every business I've ever owned. And yeah, sometimes it's got to start as a side gig, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and unless the ships are burnt for you, right, and you have no choice whatsoever, yeah, it's way better to start on the weekends versus starting, just dumping your job and going, right?
Yeah. I haven't met a single successful person yet in business that like just said, I'm quitting on a Friday and Monday I'm going to do my own thing. I
Right,
have not yet. Normally
right.
there's a plan or a transition period.
Mm-hmm. Yep. When I first started my business in 2003,
Yeah.
right, I was laid off from another company.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my bridge being burnt, right? That was my ship being burnt there. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that was like
Yeah. No
oh
choice.
man, okay. Yeah. But I had been building it on the side.
Yeah. You lucked out.
And so I was like, okay, well, I'm all in now. Got nothing else
Yeah.
to lose here. So let's go.
Yeah. It's hard. Like, I almost think everybody should have some kind of side business
Yeah.
anymore because you're going to rely on yourself, like a personal brand. I'm sure you talk a
Yeah.
ton about that being in marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to have some kind of a brand out
Hmm.
there. So when that does happen, you have a fallback. Somebody already knows who you are. So if you ask community for a job, they already are like, oh, yeah, I need you. I like you.
Yeah. 100%. I
Yeah.
mean, people got to know, like, and trust you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, this has been pretty awesome. We're going to pause here for a second in between this round of questions and our lightning round of questions.
Okay.
RoofingSites.com. Since 2018, RoofingSites.com has helped roofers double their sales by getting their marketing right using the 4R roofing marketing system. If you're a roofing company owner wanting to grow your business, be sure to go to RoofingSites.com and sign up for a roofing marketing strategy session with me. Okay, and we are back for the lightning round. All right. Josh, are you ready for this lightning round? You have one rule and one rule only, and that's you have to answer each of these questions in 1 minute or less. You ready for that?
Okay. I can be much faster than 1 minute. Let's go.
Awesome. All right. So, question number one: what is your favorite personal hack? This could be a book, this could be a podcast, pretty much anything goes since we're Roofer Growth Hacks.
Okay. Cryotherapy. Just because if you've never done it, you go into a freezer that's like negative 140 degrees. You can only do it for up to 30 seconds, but it like makes your body feel tight, and then it releases all these endorphins and you just feel so clear-minded, and it gets me so much more energized. I get a lot more done from it.
Interesting. That's I've never heard of that one before. Now I got to dig into that one, and that's going to violate my 1 minute or less rule here. But
Yep.
so cryotherapy, right? So is that how do you just look that up? The cryotherapy centers near me, and how
Yeah.
often do you do that?
Uh, I I was sick the last week, but I was doing it like maybe twice a week. I can only
Hmm.
do it like a minute and 15, a minute and a half at the most. My wife did like she did 3 minutes 2 times. And I'm like, you're
Huh.
crazy. I can't do it.
Huh.
I hate cold, but like
Yeah.
the It's the most, I don't know, you can like breathe, you can see sounds, you feel like you're about to go to war. You ever play football or anything? I didn't, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
In
like,
high school. Yeah.
yeah, you hear those speeches and it's like you want to run through a brick wall. Like that's how you feel coming out of that thing.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
I have never heard that one. So that's a cool hack. I like that. I'll have to look that up.
It's like an ice bath, but it's
Yeah.
a little less intimidating.
Uh-huh.
And what it some of the benefits for you is like it freezes bacteria and like fungus on your skin,
Yeah.
cleanses that, helps with that, skin tags. It makes
Hmm.
your mitochondria more efficient.
Yeah.
My wife's a doctor, that's how I know this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, whatever, I'll try it. You do that,
Huh.
and then like they're at the place they have like saunas and all the other things,
Yeah.
massage chairs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I go for that, but I'll do the cryotherapy just so I can suffer. And it builds
Just
your mental
yeah.
fortitude. I feel like that's the thing
Okay.
that is the game changer for me. Um,
Interesting.
I can tell myself, I don't care how horrible this is. I'm going to do it for a minute and a half period. And
Yeah.
now I can do anything for a minute and a half period because I've proven I can do it in a freezer.
Yeah. That's interesting. So how does it stack up with ice baths then? Like if have you done both of those now?
I've never done an ice bath,
Okay.
but
All
like
right.
when you do cryotherapy, you have your feet covered, your hands, you have a hat on your head with earmuffs,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
you have pants on at the minimum or shorts, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
When you do an ice bath, it's only like 50 degrees, maybe
Yeah.
30 degrees. But when
Yeah.
you do cryotherapy, we're talking 140 below zero.
Whoa.
Like it, and it's the benefits of like
Wow.
killing the bacteria and everything on your
Yeah.
body versus an ice bath doesn't get that cold.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
and it's not as invasive. I mean, like when you wear pants, it's not as cold. Put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's an interesting personal hack. Next question. What is your favorite business hack? Again, anything goes here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say personal brand. I mean, I didn't know it, but 3 years ago when I started on LinkedIn, I just started posting everything. I was bland. I was very professional and kind of
Yeah.
blended in. But
Yeah.
I watch a lot of Chris Doe, marketing person, story brand. Watch a lot of him.
Yeah.
Um, Donald Miller, that is.
Yeah.
I have a ghostwriter now, but having that personal brand, people find you and they want to
Yeah.
work with you because of you, not because of whatever you do. They're like, I
Yeah.
like you as a person. Biggest
100%.
hack for business.
100%. And that's one thing that I try to talk with our roofers all the time is and there's really only been a couple that have actually done that is take that $1,000 machine sitting in your pocket, right, and do something with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people like to do business with other people that they know, like, and trust. And that's the easiest way to break through the know, like, and trust thing is video, So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people
100%.
feel like they know you before you even talk to them,
Yeah.
and
100%.
most deals are already closed too.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, next question. What is the best advice that you've ever been given and bonus points here for how you actually applied it?
Yeah, I'd say the way you do anything is the way you do everything. Um, I used to, I didn't tell you this earlier, but I used to fight wildfires actually when I got out of college. And my boss told me when I was walking across the parking, I was like, walk with a purpose because the
Yeah.
people in that office, they don't know you. They don't know what you do all the time. Maybe it's just lax around here, but they
Mhm.
don't feel like you do much when they see you slow around here. So the way you
Yeah.
do everything is the way you do everything. And it helps you just come across as more well rounded.
Love that. Love that. I have to talk to my kids about that one.
Tell them to make their beds too.
That's true. Yes, absolutely. Pick up your room.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, last question. How can the Roofer Growth Hacks family get in touch with you? How can we support you and encourage you moving forward?
Yeah. I'm on LinkedIn, Josh Luebker. Um, it's constructioncfo.net is my website. That's where you can get some of the free tools because I'm more here to serve other people. I understand like we are a white glove. We do it for people that do not have the bandwidth, but know that they need it, know that they want it, and their heart and passion is doing the thing that they do. and money and finance is not that. But for the people that want to figure it out on their own, like, cool, we have the resources for you to do it too. Because we're not selfish to the point where we're going to just not let anybody else have any of that. It's not proprietary, it's just math.
Yeah.
So
100%. Well, Josh, thank you so much for coming on. I've really, really enjoyed talking numbers, even though we don't really truly talk numbers that much, but geeking out on that kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
thanks for having me. It's never fun to talk about math. I'm not going to lie. I get bored of it. I do it all day. But I sure do like looking at numbers grow.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Love that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate it, Josh. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, roofingsites.com. Since 2018, roofingsites.com has helped roofers double their sales by getting their marketing right using the 4R roofing marketing system. If you're a roofing company owner wanting to grow your business, be sure to go to roofingsites.com and sign up for a roofing marketing strategy session with me. Also, this past year, I published my book, The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. If you're a roofing company owner and you don't have this book in your hands, I will send you a free digital copy. Just go to go.roofingsites.com and I'll send you a free copy of my book. Well, roofers, join me next time when we connect with another great roofing entrepreneur and learn how they hack their growth. Until then, I'm Chris Hunter. Thanks and gig 'em.